Right, hello there, good evening everybody. My name is Paul. I'm also called Knick-Knack and occasionally referred to as Mr. Cuddy 2977. I'm the brains behind Knick-Knack's Old Peculiar and the Mr. Cuddy 2977 YouTube channel. I do quizzes, jokes, and of course occasionally I talk about films and TV shows I'm watching. I caught the second episode of For All Mankind Series 5 last night and I wanted to tell you about it. Here we go. Episode 2, The Hard Six, opens the show as a communal area on Sublevel 2 of Happy Valley, the area Martian peacekeepers have to travel through to take Lee Jung-gil, C.K. Lee, into custody. A journey that sees many of Happy Valley's residents on the point of protest until Sheriff James McWatford
reads them the Riot Act.
Meanwhile, Walter and Shireen, Christopher Denham and Sarah Boutine, the leaders of the Helios team at Happy Valley, are monitoring the robot expedition to Titan, and both are very excited. The robots they've deployed are glitchy, but seem to have found life, something that Kelly Baldwin, Cynthia Wu, is keen to learn about, but also angry about, as Walter is determined to send another robot mission to Titan rather than risk a crewed mission that Kelly feels is a better choice. That's something Kelly's father, Ed, Joel Kinnaman, agrees should be done. Ed is very aware that his daughter will need persuading in order to take it further.
Meanwhile,
all is not well with Ed. He and the rest of the sons and daughters of Mars are having a rare meeting. One Ed is called so the group can chew over one thing: Lee Jung-gil's arrest. The first man on Mars is going to be sent back to Earth for trial, and if that happens, it's more than likely to be a death sentence. Right, what did I make of the Hard Six? What did I think, feel, or see? Let's start with the picky bite, shall we? Mac fanboy that I am, you're going to know I'm going to mention it. Dev Ayesha, Edie Gathegi, is back in this episode, refusing a request for help from Ed Baldwin. Me being me, my first thought wasn't so much as, ooh, he's looking villainous this week, but it was in fact, that's an iMac on his desk. And it's one of the slim unibody ones that I myself actually owned. It's long since died. My next thought was, is that a 2015 model or a 2017 one? Because they all used pretty much the same case. If it was the latter two, 2015 or 2017, if it was one of those two models, it's totally wrong for an alternative history set in 2012. It's 5 years too recent. I don't know for sure, but my nitpicky self immediately dived on that. The other thing that hit me about the Hard Six is that Ed advises his daughter Kelly to roll a hard six, a double three, take a big risk, in other words, a big gamble, to get a human crewed mission to Titan and to get a place on it. And it's a big gamble that pays off in Kelly's favour. She gets named by Dev to take part in the mission as the pilot. We also see Ed taking something of a similar gamble, risking his own life, in other words, to help Jung-gil escape to neutral Martian territory at, potentially, the cost of his own life. Does Ed survive? I won't know for sure, although I suspect he may or may not, until I watch the next episode. But given what we know of Ed's cancer diagnosis from last week's first episode, things look bleak for Ed. With that lot said, what did I make of the Hard Six of this second episode? I've got to say, it's early days in Series 5, but I've thoroughly enjoyed both the episode and the series so far. We've got the return of Dev Ayesha, the nearest the show has to a villain. We've got the seeds of future episodes and possibly series in the shape of the discovery of life on Titan. And in Ed's potential death and Jung-gil's escape, we have one hell of a pair of cliffhangers. Frankly, The Hard Six is an eminently watchable second episode, and it adds to the show's background and moves the story forward. What more can we ask? Me personally, not a lot. Right. With all of that said, that is that for this week's episode, for this second episode of For All Mankind. I'm going to leave things there for now, but I will tell you just one last few things. First off, I'm going to be watching episode 3 next Tuesday, and I will hopefully have my review up by next Wednesday or Thursday. B, if you've enjoyed what you've watched, please feel free to subscribe. I do a hell of a lot more than just TV and movie reviews. I also do silly jokes and quizzes as well. The teasers are something of an acquired taste, but doing well, I hope. And one last thing, if you like what you see, please feel free to tip. There's a tip jar in the corner there. Every penny helps run this channel and pay for a Mac. I'll see you next week. Have fun, take care, be good, and be seeing you.